So, if you couldn't tell by the jersey on the back of my chair, the fact that I sometimes wear a jersey when I'm recording, you would know that I'm a big hockey guy. I'm a big hockey fan. I love hockey. I love the sport of it. I love the video games and all that fun stuff. Sorry, just testing something here, making sure this actually works. Okay, cool. Anyways, so and also I guess the fact that I even started a show or a thing called the Golden Stick where I talk about hockey, but I just haven't done much with that channel anyways. I wanted to come up with a little bit of a list for NHL 26, and with NHL 26 apparently coming sooner than before, like usually they came in like end of October, beginning of November. Now they're going to come out in September, based on some leaks, things that show EA Sports' quarterly stuff. It's going to come around the same time as Madden. Now, they've been making a lot of changes to FIFA and to Madden. I guess not FIFA. I guess it's now EAFC because FIFA pulled out. So FIFA pulled out because the games were crap. And EA was just basically being caught copying and pasting and saying, good enough, play the new one. And people would still buy it. And, well, we're having that kind of issue with the NHL series. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about anything related to the online mode. I do not play the online mode at all. I don't really play Hockey Ultimate Team. I'll open it up, open my pack, and be like, cool, I got these guys, and then move on with my life. Barely touch World of Chell. Barely. So there's no real reason for me to talk about those things, because I'll be honest with you, I don't care. And I understand that is their moneymaker. And, I mean, there's ways you could improve it. Like, one of the things that they did back in the day of Hockey Ultimate Team was you earned something called pucks whenever you played a game, and those pucks could convert to currency to buy packs, but they don't do that anymore. It has to be the premium currency, because you have to buy things to play video games nowadays. But anyways, so my wish list for 2026 is a little weird, a little strange. Here it is. This just a screenshot I took. Here's my wish list. Just ignore that. Here's the wish list I got, all right? So let's start talking about it. So first off, it says custom logos. Allow us to have custom logos. Like, I understand they have, like, a few selection of custom logos, but allow us to make our own. Because there's been so many times where I have an idea for a team. Like, here's an example. I'm back, sorry. My mic is extremely finicky, and if I touch it, it just disconnects itself, and it kind of bothers me. But anyways, custom logos. So here's an example. In NHL 25, there is the option to have your team called the Bulldogs. There is no Bulldog logo. So you can have your team called the Bulldogs, but there's no pictures of a Bulldog to use as your logo. So, like, allow us to have custom logos like that, where if we want to have things like, you know, like I said, the Bulldog, and we want to create a Bulldog or whatever. And, like, there's a lot of times where there's all these play-by-play names that you can choose from, but there's no real logo for them. And there was another one, I can't remember what it was. It was another team I wanted to call. I wanted to call a team the Electrics, or, like, the Lightning. Like, I made a team based off of the beer league team I play for called the Red Deer Lightning Saints. And the closest thing I got was literally just the modern-day Tampa Bay Lightning logo. But, like, allow us to create a cool logo of, like, maybe, I don't know, like the Saints logo, but, like, with lightning bolts coming out of it or something like that, or, you know, things like that. I don't know. Just allow us to make, like, custom logos. I think that would be extremely cool. It would be fun. It would be great. And I understand, like, actually, honestly, I just realized this because I've been playing this a little bit. NBA 2K25 has it. You can make your own custom logo, and then you can share it with people. And you can make custom logos. I mean, then you'd have to do some monetization to be like, yo, don't be making this. Okay, don't be making the 1940 to 45 German logo. Please, don't be doing that. But yeah, like just make like things like that, right? Because they're allowed to make custom logos. Also, another thing they do is allow custom equipment. They did that in the 2K games. NHL 2K used to have that, where you could make like you could take like a hockey stick and give it your own custom colors. You can make like your own gloves and skates, give them all custom colors. Another thing I didn't actually add in here, but I wanted to, allow us to have World of Chell stuff in Be a Pro. I think that would just be super dumb and funny, but it'd be so cool. Like, it's like, oh, you unlocked, you know, like, here's something I actually thought about. And it kind of ties in with online. And you know what? I'll get into it a little later because it's later on the list. Next one I have is custom goalie helmets. Allow us to make custom goalie helmets. It's so dumb when it's like, I have this team, and my colors are yellow and purple, so the closest I got is, I guess, my goalies get a yellow helmet. Woo. Allow me to make like a custom logo of like one side's purple, one side's yellow with my logo written in like right in the middle. Like allow us to do that. Allow us to be like when you create your team, you create like the colors of like your gloves and your pads and things. Allow it to also be like helmet. Do you want a custom helmet for your team? And you can hit yes, and you have your choice of, because each team has like 2 different helmets, a main goalie and a backup. You'd be like, okay, here's the main goalie helmet, here's the backup goalie helmet. I have a few things that I want to get into later. Okay, first off, now let's get into what I was really talking about. Better be a pro. And I'm not going to say this word, you probably saw it earlier. F the pond hockey intro, the pricey pond hockey thing. It has been the exact same intro since NHL 19. And someone did a comparison of it. Since NHL 19, we've had the same freaking intro. And they've added nothing to the Be a Pro mode, ever. They're always like, oh, we added a few more like story-based things here and there. They don't matter. They really don't. Like, the story options are just like, do you want to be cocky or a team player? And it's like, okay. And I've tried once, like, being a team player. They, like, really liked you, whatever. And even, like, I went on to score, like, have, like, a massive season. I scored, like, 110 points my rookie season. And my next contract was, like, $975,000 for 3 years. Like, that was my next contract they gave me. I'm like, bro, I did better than, like, McDavid did in his rookie season. Why am I not getting like 7-8 million? Like, it was just wild. They're like, yeah, sure. But anyways, to come back into the Be a Pro stuff, combine World of Shell with Be a Pro. Like, NBA kind of does this a little bit where the career mode is combined with the online. So you could be in your career mode playing as your player and go play some online matches with other people. Combine that. Like, have that a little bit, like, don't have it as big as like they have like the city, but I thought of an idea, call it like the arena. And then you could, like, step outside the arena if you want to go play a multiplayer game, like a World of Chell stuff or whatever. And then you could, you know, or even, as dumb as it sounds, bring the pricey pond hockey thing back where you're in your arena, you go to the dressing room to go to the next game, you kind of walk around the arena and maybe sit, like, in the bleachers or something like that as some of your players or coaches will give you challenges. Like, we'll take, for example, I'm, you know, a Capitals fan. You're walking around the arena, you see Ovechkin sitting there, and you go to talk to him. He's like, hey, man, I got a challenge for you, right? Next game, score 2 goals and get an assist, right? And if you do that, I'll give you, you know, and it'll be like, all of a sudden, it'll be like a contract bonus. It'll be like, hey, you'll get like an extra 45 experience to your character, or you'll get an extra like $1,000 if you complete this challenge. Then it kind of gives you an incentive to kind of, okay, I need to focus on being more of a goal scorer this game, and then also getting that few assists here and there, right? So you're like, all right, so I need to try. So then you're like, okay, so at least for sure my team has to get at least 3 goals, and I have to get at least 2 of them, right? Because it was kind of a challenge I took. And you can go to like the gym, the weight train, you go to the team store to buy new equipment. That was another thing I would love, just equipment. Like, PGA does this. PGA games, they do this, and I freaking love that they do it. There's like certain, you start off with like basic equipment, and then as you progress through the game, you get better equipment based on sponsorships. So have it be like, you know, you get just standard like Bauer gloves and Bauer skates and stick, and then it's like, oh, you want like the Bauer Supreme or whatever the new stick is? Well, you need a Bauer sponsorship, and you need to be a Bauer sponsor for like, they also have rankings too, so it's like every time you do a match in PGA, you get more like levels up towards the ranking. Like, all right, well, you want this Bauer Supreme stick, have your Bauer sponsorship active and get it to level 7, and then you'll unlock the Bauer stick that you want. And then it kind of gives you more incentive to really play because it's progression. Be a Pro mode is literally just go play next game, you did good, okay, adjust stats, go play next game, you did good again. Like, that's it. Like, that is it. It's, oh, I don't know, the Be a Pro has just been like the most like neglected, forgotten series, but it's the one that everyone wants EA to fix, to mess with a little bit. Speaking of Be a Pro, by the way, let's continue on the trend of Be a Pro. I have a few things that I want to add into Be a Pro. Let us play a season in the juniors before being drafted to the NHL. Let us do that. I think I have more added on here as well. Yeah. So, what I mean by that, I think it was NHL 14 did this, and back in the day they did it, where like you could choose to start in the CHL, which for me, as you guys can tell, as I'm wearing a Rebels jersey, I would always start with the Red Deer Rebels. I played a full season as the Red Deer Rebels. Allow us to do that. Allow us to play a full season in the CHL, or even full season in Europe or whatever. Just try to, or you know, NCAA is becoming a big thing now for hockey. Allow us to play a season or 2 in college to try to get drafted instead of just starting in the Memorial Cup. Allow us to actually start like a full season in the juniors to try to work our way up. Because Because it seems so weird to me how, like, your character could be, like, drafted first overall, and his overall is, like, a 53. It's like, your character theoretically sucks, and he went first overall. Have it be, like, you know, for instance, like, in NHL 25, Gavin McKenna, he always goes first overall, and his overall is always, like, 72. Like, allow us to, like, kind of upgrade our guy a little bit more in a season of, you know, the thing. Continuing on to that trend of be a pro. A lot of these are going to be a pro and franchise mode based because those are 2 modes that I play. Number one, let us play in Europe. This kind of has to do with the fact of, like, you see it all the time where the season ends and you see a lot of people be like, okay, well, I played in the NHL. Now I'm going to go play a season or 2 overseas. They go to either the KHL, the DEL, like the Czech League, the Swiss League. Like, allow us to do that. Allow it to be, like, at the end of the year, free agency comes around, and we'll just say you play for Nashville. It's like, all right, well, Nashville Predators are willing to give you a 2-year deal for $1.2 million a year to play for them. Or over here, you could go play for, this is the team I think of when it comes to my mind, HC Dynamo Paradise? Paradise? I don't know how to say that name. It's literally like, so my shirt, I don't know how well you can see if I show the camera here. Microphone's probably in the way. It says Fermanic on the back, and he went back to, after he played for the Rebels, he went to go play overseas there, so that was the team I just thought of. But, like, it could be like, these guys are willing to sign you for a year at, like, $3 million a year. But, I mean, you could also just make the adjustment of, like, if you go play overseas, it's only a 1-year deal. So when you go over there, you play overseas, and then later it's like, hey, you played overseas, the team's willing to re-sign you again for another year, or the Dallas Stars want to give you a contract, or the Abbotsford Canucks want to give you an American Hockey League contract, so you can't really be called up, but you'll be playing in the AHL, or the Tahoe Lake Monsters or the South Carolina Stingrays want to sign you for an ECHL contract, where you only will play there. Like, allow us to play in all these different leagues. That's what I want. Like, allow us to just play in all these different leagues, because players do it all the time where they just kind of move around different leagues and stuff. Allow us to do that. Allow us to experience different leagues. I mean, they do it in, I guess, FIFA or FC really does it, because you can just transfer teams and leagues at random and at will whenever you want. So allow us to kind of like do that. Now let's move on. If I think about the Be a Pro stuff, I'll kind of explain a little bit more. But now let's move on to franchise mode. First off, I have ECHL teams added to franchise mode. I understand not every NHL team has one, but allow us to create one. I think it'd be so cool to be able to play as your NHL team, your American Hockey League team, and then an ECHL team, because every team has like those 3. You may have to upgrade the roster size to be like 75 instead of the 50 people under roster, so it'll be a little more management in terms of like budget, or even just be like, you know, when you go to sign people to a contract, be like, you want to sign them to an NHL contract or just ECHL? Send them right away to ECHL. Things like that. But, you know, like I said, like, yeah, just allow ECHL teams to be added to franchise mode. I think that'd be sick. That'd be awesome. Next up, I have, you know, be a GM for junior teams. Allow us to just, you know, franchise mode, but for junior teams. Like, allow me to be the general manager of the Rebels. I would think that'd be cool. Like, and then, like, at the end of the year, it's like, all right, dude, here are 3 players of yours that got drafted to their NHL teams. They've signed their contracts. They're going over there. Here are the 2 players that were overage, and therefore they're no longer allowed in the league anymore. So then it kind of adds a little more like a, ooh, what am I going to do system? Because it could be like, oh, these are my 3 best players. Ah, crap, they all got drafted or they're overage, so they can't be in the CHL anymore. Oh, my team may actually look completely. It would like add so much difference to the league. I think it'd be really cool. Again, these are all far-fetched, unrealistic ideas that I have, but I think it would just make the EA games just amazing. Another one I have, be a GM where I can get a job interview instead of choosing a team. This comes from Hockey Franchise Manager, or the Franchise Hockey Manager series, where you literally have the choice to choose your team and just start there, or you can literally go start nowhere, and all of a sudden you're given offers. So, like, in the one I played recently, 10, I was the GM for a team overseas in the French League, and then somehow I did really good that the Kelowna Rockets of the WHL wanted me, and then I did that for 2 years, and then, like, a team from the QMJHL wanted me. And then from there, I ended up being, like, the GM of, I think it was San Jose Sharks. was the team I was the GM for. But like allow that, like allow us to kind of like work up or even be GM for your team. Like, you know, like you set your GM length to like say 3 years, and say you play as like the Canucks, and then after the 3 years, it's like, hey, the Canucks are willing to resign you, or if you want like a different challenge, the Victoria Royals of the WHL want you. Like you just go be a GM somewhere else. I think that would be, personally, I think that'd be kind of cool, honestly. Anyways, to end it off though, with the last few things that I want on the list, we have, I already talked a little bit about the arena. Have a hockey hall of fame where you can even just walk around and look at the history of the NHL. Look at the history. Like even have it as like a menu option, like hockey hall of fame. You just walk around it, you look at all the history, but also add it to kind of like the NHL. Be like, you go to start a game, like say you play for Washington, you go to start a game. Oh, they're having a jersey retirement ceremony for Ovechkin because he retired. And then, oh, now there's a hall of fame, you know, and then you look over and you go into the hall of fame and all of a sudden he's in there. And, you know, maybe you could play your career up to where, you know, you got your jersey retired and you ended up in the Hall of Fame. Also, I have the World Cup / WIHF tournaments in Be a Pro and franchise mode. Allow, like, the World Cup or even, like, WIHF tournaments. Say they add in the ability for you to play in the juniors, right? So you're playing your season in the junior, and say, you know, you create your character, the Canadian. You're playing your season in the junior, all of a sudden it comes up to the World Hockey Junior Championships, or the World Junior Cup, whatever it's called, usually happens. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, you got invited to go play for Team Canada in the World Juniors. It's like, oh, okay, I accept. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're taking a break off to go play for Team Canada in the World Juniors. And that can affect it. It could be like, you know, your team, you got drafted. It's like, you're expected to go like 21st overall, but you got drafted 10th. And you're like, well, why? And they're like, well, honestly, your regular season play wasn't, you know, it was good, but not like great. But we watched your World Junior play, and that was like, you were phenomenal in the World Juniors. And we could definitely use a player like that. And that's kind of what boosts you up a bit in the rankings with your play in the juniors. I think that would be a big one. That would be cool. But anyways, those are just some unrealistic, wild things that I have in terms of the NHL games. And I don't think will ever happen. But I think it would still be pretty cool to have. Honestly, I think it'd be neat, it'd be cool. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are awesome, amazing. I love you, y'all. And videos will be coming back soon-ish in a normal way. I'm trying to just kind of get my life a little together. Let's just say work has been a little hectic, so I've been a little slow on the videos and the streams. But they should be getting back to normal soon, hopefully. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Love y'all. See y'all next time.